On this episode of It's a Bit, we're joined in studio by Jerome Williams. He's a 4-star recruit from Osseo, committed to the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers. Awesome interview coming up with him. We're also going to go over our bits of the week, as always, which I'm not going to lie, heavily involve some particular Minnesota sports teams. And we're going to end the show by bringing back a segment called Guys Doing Business. We're going to pitch 3 business ideas for pharmaceuticals. Yeah, that's right, pills. So all that and more on It's a Bit.
You're listening to the It's a Bit podcast presented by 10,000 Takes.
You just made the roster.
Janine empire called 10,000 Takes.
Fucking like that?
Hey, you know those guys that do 10,000 takes? They do some funny bits, right?
They're good. They're funny dudes.
Yeah, 10,000 take.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Bossman, joined by Wags and journalist Jake. And this might be a little presumptuous to say, but I'm going to throw it out there. The 10K decision desk is now ruling that it's officially spring.
Yeah, you know, I would agree with that. Yeah, I will confirm that statement from the 10K decision
I almost said
desk.
summer.
No, it's not quite summer, but it is officially spring because I think it's going to be like a few days in a row of like 80-degree weather, and then we're going to go right back to like 40 to 60 range. So yeah, it's officially spring.
Nice. I think when you hit 70 degrees, I think it's safe to say you're finally in springtime, which I think didn't we technically by a calendar perspective hit spring like in March or end of March, but it was literally still 20 degrees out.
Yeah.
Like felt like winter. We had a snowstorm 2 weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago, or whatever it was.
Yeah, March 20th is through June 21st is spring, which is hilarious because June 21st that's the longest day of the year, right?
Yeah, the summer solstice.
Yeah. So that's when they make the
summer
switch. They're like, fuck it, we're going to switch to summer
Yep.
when the summer solstice happens, strictly based off of that.
And what's weird, because I kind of consider the whole month of June summer, but then if you look at like when they consider it winter, it's always like the winter solstice, right? December 21st is when
Shortest
winter,
day of the year.
was when winter begins, and it's like winter's in Minnesota, anyways, has already been afoot for several months by that point.
Yeah, and also it was probably a week ago. It was probably like 30 degrees, maybe 20. We jumped to 80. That means potholes are officially back.
Yeah,
Yes,
pothole
they
season,
are.
construction season. No, we're not in spring. We're in construction season. We're going to be going. They're going to be trying to fill those or finish an 8-year project just to start another one next year. So that's where we're at right now.
I did hear they're like rebuilding like the biggest overpass in Chicago for like one of their biggest freeways or something. It's a 8-year project that they think is probably going to take 12 fucking years.
Oh, probably.
So at least be thankful that they're not like going to tear up 94.
True. Well, I saw at Vegas, the strip is going to be down. The majority of the strip's going to be down to 1 lane for all of summer.
That's going to be
crazy.
bad.
Yeah, 100%.
So basically,
It's already
it's going to be
packed.
construction until the F1 race in October.
I would assume so.
Is that what
Yeah.
it's for?
Yeah.
And then
It's probably for
the drivers are going to destroy the road and they're
Yeah.
going to have to redo it.
Yeah.
It's
Then
going to
at the
become an annual
construction.
thing. It's kind of like golf courses have to like close down for members 4 months before the tournament. That's going to be the strip now thanks to Formula 1.
Wouldn't the Olympics be sick in Vegas?
The Olympics?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
Summer Olympics in Vegas
Yeah.
would be really cool.
Except,
They
well,
would need to
I
put a lot of
I was
stuff.
going to
They would,
say,
yeah.
I've heard Olympians are some of the horniest,
They are.
foul people on the planet in terms of the activities they participate in when
Athletes.
not competing. So I feel like Vegas for them is a little too much of a playground
You're right about
to
that.
make bad decisions.
That's why they have it in places like Lake Placid, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, how many STDs can you catch in Lake Placid?
No.
Not many.
Or Salt Lake City.
Or felonies if you're Ryan Lochte. Whatever.
Yeah, Brazil.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Dude, it's weird because, it's been so warm lately, but my yard still has plenty of snow.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of snow around here where it's like we need consistent days of 80 degrees
Yeah.
until it fully melts.
It's just funny. It's 75. You look at your phone, 75, and then you look out your window and there's snow.
I know.
It hasn't been like that in a while around here, which is hilarious.
I'm hoping that golf courses open by the weekend.
Ooh.
I don't. Obviously, I'm not a superintendent or a golf course expert, so my opinion is a little biased as a player. But I say you should open this Friday, you cowards.
Just open it up.
And if there's a pile of snow, I'll go Freddie Couple style. I'll play a yellow ball. I'll swallow my pride.
There we go.
Yeah, instead of bunkers, you also have snow piles to
Yep.
to deal with while you're playing golf.
Only the elite of the elite can play this time of year.
Yeah, right.
I was
Like
telling you
myself.
guys. I think I was telling you guys this last week when I was a senior in high school. It was the year that we had a snowstorm in May, on May 1st, if you guys remember. I think it was like 2015, spring of 2015. And the golf season had already been delayed so much because of the weather that we were practicing inside, hitting balls into a net into a curtain in the choir room, and at one point the district just said, "Screw it, we're gonna make them play." And they had coaches and spotters that were volunteers standing in snowbanks waiting for balls, and you'd get like relief. But yeah, it was a legitimate obstacle to get by were snowbanks. So if you have any story about being a Midwestern golfer, there it is right there.
Were they like shoveling greens and stuff like that for you guys to play?
They were probably doing something along those lines.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Or using squeegees or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was like middle of May, and they're like, well, the school has a lot invested. Like, they've already paid the courses for this. Like, we already all the van rentals. We already paid the coaches. Let's just make them play. Screw it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Puts hair in the chest.
We'll have to like look around on websites to see if like tee times are opening up. There's got to be one or two courses that are like doing fuck it. No, if we're gonna start making money and some people want to go out and play in the snow, like we would, just let's start charging people. Open the doors. Open the gates. Let's get going.
If you're a frequent Twin Cities parvert golfer around here, you're already thinking what I'm thinking, and that golf course is Oak Marsh, not a sponsor of the show, but they are the course that if there's a slim chance that they could operate, they're going to open. So I guarantee Oak Marsh might be open as we speak. There might be people playing there for all we know.
They might have just opened up today, like when they saw a little bit of snow melt.
Yeah, that's their thing. They're like, we don't care. We're going to open, and we'll deal with the consequences later. So there's your answer. I'm gonna have to check that because I am playing golf somewhere Friday.
I've gone to 2 different courses right now that we've kind of frequented. There's no available tee times as of right now. So
I feel like if some of these courses are smart, they probably know that this could, like, if they open up too quick, even if the snow is off, if it's too wet, it could ruin their greens and fairways for a while.
And I don't even. There's no way the ground is thawed yet.
No,
that's like that's at least a few week process.
Yeah, and so that could just. People walking through that can easily tear up the ground,
right?
Break shit.
The snow melting is just the tip of the iceberg, literally. So,
but some courses like Oak Marsh could definitely be open just for the hell of it.
Yeah,
just why not?
But while golf's a happy topic, let's move into bit of the week, which I've been waiting for this since Saturday. So, Jake, let's start with you for your bit of the week. What is it?
Mine is the predicament bit. Zane was very involved with this. So obviously Gopher hockey was in the national championship game, but another thing was occurring that night, the Red Hot Chili Pepper concert on Saturday night that I had circled on the calendar for a while. And I was like sick to my stomach dealing with the predicament of should I be planning on going to Diggingtown to watch the Gophers, and there's a lot of people on here saying, fuck yeah, you do. But then the other side of me was telling me, like, you got to go to this concert. They're one of your top 3 favorite bands of all time. You wanted to go to this. So I was like sick to my stomach all day going back and forth. Like, no, I'm going to go watch the game. Well, and that makes sense.
Even before,
I'm a Gopher fan.
Even before the day of, you were freaking out. I remember you went out to the bars Friday night, and I didn't, so I fell asleep. And I woke up to 5 texts of you just, dude, Chili Peppers, dude, we should go. I just literally individual texts like that, 5 of them in that morning.
I thought like maybe because I was a little drunk, like, okay, the next day I'm going to be fine. Like I'm going to decide to go to the Gophers or it's going to be a lot clearer. Not true. And I was sick to my stomach like the entire day, like trying to figure out. I went back and forth. I'm going to go watch the Gophers somewhere. There's a national championship, and I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Red Chili Peppers, like, they are not just like some band that like I like Danny California from Rock Band from 2008. No, it's like we grew up. Zane and I, we grew up listening to their shits from their first album in 1982, watching videos of them in a club with their socks on their cocks, shit going way back. But we ended up making a compromise. I'm like, let's go to the concert. I can watch the game on my fucking phone, which was fine. I'm like, this is a place to celebrate in a way, watching my favorite band play and seeing them win. Ultimately, that did not happen. And what was stupid, remember that guy was sitting there near us. He saw I was wearing Gopher stuff. He was wearing Gopher stuff too. And he sees I'm watching the game. He's like, do not fucking reveal anything to me. Do not react. I have it recording at home. It's like, what? Why are you here? Like, there's other Gopher fans here. Clearly, I'm watching the game. You can't tell me what or when I cannot react.
The tickets have been on sale for a year at this point. Yeah. There's plenty of Gopher fans there who just bought tickets 6-7 months in the past.
For sure. So that makes total sense. But don't get mad at me if I want to watch it on a TV or on my phone. So that made absolutely no sense. The guy. But I'm sitting there reacting. and I'm trying to like blend it in with like cheering for the songs, you know. But ultimately when they lost and we saw their fucking overtime,
10 seconds,
10 seconds in the tournament, 10 seconds in overtime, like, and watching that 20 seconds, like, as awesome as the concert was, it almost was like a scene from like a war movie where you're stunned by like a flash grenade and it's all, the sound is all blurred around you. I'm just watching it, and they scored 10 seconds in, and I remember just sitting down on my chair. And then you pop back up. We're at a concert right now, so vibes are high. You know, I can't get depressed. But then it hit me like after the concert when things hyped down. The hype of the concert came down a little bit. I was fucking depressed. I'm still kind of am depressed about it. It really sucked. But there was a predicament on Saturday, but I made both work. Ultimately, watching the Gophers lose fucking sucked.
Yeah, but you couldn't have asked for a better place to be when they lost. I did, because like when they lost, I was like, you being the diehard Gopher fan that you are, I thought you would just have been devastated and not have said a word the rest of the night. But no, you sat down for maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You got right back up and you started singing the Chili Peppers song.
I'm like, this is the place to be. Like I texted Jack after too. I'm like, a good thing I'm at a concert right now, or else I'd ingest cyanide or something.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine being in Dinkytown on that.
I was gonna say
I'd have been more depressed.
I wonder if anyone had any. I didn't see any videos or pictures of Dinkytown. All I saw were some drunk kids on the news which the funniest thing in the world is that 5 Eyewitness News thought it was a good idea to go to Sally's after the Gophers lose
That's not a good
in
idea.
that fashion in the national championship. One kid, I was watching it with my parents. We were just dying because one kid was like so drunk he could barely stand up in the background. He kept like knocking his buddy over, and his buddy had to like help him. That kid ended up talking and didn't end up doing too bad of a job, but God, that guy needed a water. So, yeah,
it's on our Instagram. Go and check it out. It's hilarious.
Yeah. That kid's fucked up. But I have some thoughts on the game. I did call it. I did say Quinnipiac was the team of destiny. Now, was I joking? It was mostly a joke, but they went home empty-handed in 2016 in Tampa against Zane and I's alma mater, the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. Boo.
Sue, yeah.
Sue.
Yep.
But I don't know what the fuck happened in the second and third period.
I don't know either.
Completely different team.
They gave up.
Yeah, they just played a defensive shell.
I said they played Mike Zimmer prevent defense, and I did say Mike Zimmer just caught a stray during the National Hockey Championship. But it's true. What the Gophers had, like 4 shots on goal between the second and third period.
Unacceptable in a national championship game.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
They had one. I remember we were watching in the last 2 minutes, and I was getting really. That's when it kind of hit. Before the game, I still couldn't believe we were in a national championship game. Like, a team I'm cheering for is in a title game, so it was still kind of hard. But by the time the third period hit and we had a 2-1 lead and it was 5 minutes left, I'm like, oh my God, we could win a national championship. And I was sitting there like rubbing my neck. I was so fucking nervous. And then they showed 14 shots this period. Quinnipiac 14, Minnesota 1. I'm like, oh, they're gonna score. And sure enough, that's what happened. I remember I said though before, or when the Gophers beat St. Cloud State, I'm like, this is what's going to happen. We're going to make it to the championship and lose to Quinnipiac because they're another New York team that we probably shouldn't lose to like we did in 2013 with Union, although I think Quinnipiac is a lot better than that Union team. And it's not as big of an upset, but it's like, what the hell? But I knew when they beat Michigan, it was going to be a tough game. But I thought when we went up 2-0, we were okay, feeling pretty good. But you need one more for comfort, and we never got that.
Yeah, there was a bullshit penalty, I think, called at the end of the third period.
It was like that high stick.
Yeah.
They were tangled up.
I think the Quinnipiac player grabbed the Minnesota player's stick, and then as the Minnesota player was trying to free it, he eventually high sticked the player. But again, the original penalty that should have been called was the holding the stick.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They get a power play, they score, and when they score, and your team's only had, like Jack said, I think 4 shots across 2 periods, it's not looking good for you in overtime.
Do the math on that one. It was insane actually, like how much the momentum shifted. I think a part of that blame does go on Joe Smith. Did anyone else see his tweet? The
22-0.
He does a great job. I'm not going to rip on him here. He does a great job covering the Wild, but he did tweet at 8:32 p.m. on Saturday, Gophers are 22-0 when leading after 2 periods of the season. And the first response is Russo saying Joe.
Yeah.
I saw LaPantha even quote tweet that and saying, go ahead and say it. Jinxes aren't real, because LaPantha's a big jinxes aren't real guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But like after the Gophers scored the second goal, and it was at the first period.
I think it was still the first.
I was just like, oh, so it's going to be one of these national championships. Like the Gophers are just a better team. Like even if they couldn't blow it if they tried.
Yeah.
And they did try, and they did blow it. So Quinnipiac, team of destiny.
Yeah, it. They showed that graphic or that stat. I remember at the beginning of the third period, and it was there.
ESPN did it too, so it's also their fault.
Yeah, the camera was on Bob Motzko, and it said Gophers 22-0 this season, leading after 2.
And Jake, just because I want to rile you up even more right now, if you were actually able to listen to the broadcast since you were at the concert, the guys they had between periods were like massively rooting for Quinnipiac.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
they didn't
it's
say
East Coast bias.
They didn't say a single nice thing about the Gophers. Like my dad was fuming between
I'm sure.
periods at that. So I just wanted to let you know that the announcers were not on your side either.
I saw a lot of bias heading up for that game too, and they were just talking about Quinnipiac left and right.
Even the Frozen Four against BU, it was nothing like, because I actually got to hear the audio of that game. They weren't really talking about the good things the Gophers were doing. It was everything that BU was doing.
I know.
So I mean, like, part of me though does feel good for Quinnipiac because they've never won it. And if you ever hear their coach's story, like when he took over, they were a D3 program. Apparently, the only ice time they could get in town was at like midnight. And to their first tryout, they had 17 skaters show up and 8 goalies. And obviously, 17 is not enough to build a full team. So he ended up asking the goalies who were not good enough, have you guys ever played out? And then when they went to D1, he thought he was going to get fired, but he convinced the athletic director to keep it. His second year as a coach, they got like 10 p.m. ice time, and he was thrilled that he could get more than 3 hours of sleep. So, like, Quinnipiac has had to grind from the gutters to get here. So I am a little happy for them. But for all these, like, A-plus talent Gopher players who are already doing well in their NHL debut, which happened last night, Monday night, it is like that's just got to leave a scar on you forever.
Yeah.
And also, this was like, in a way, this was like the chance to like kind of get Minnesota fans to stop believing that nothing but bad shit's gonna happen in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right? This was the chance to kind of turn that around.
I know.
And 2-0, you know, and
especially right before
it.
Like the Wolves play the play-in game, like the Wild play the playoffs, like
the
the Twins are back. Like that would have been a good way to kick off like a summer of maybe the tides are turning.
Yeah.
But as it looks right now, we are still stuck in the 7th dimension of hell. So
we got the Minnesota Wild, fingers crossed.
I don't know. It's gonna be.
We're just asking for a first round. We're just asking to win the first round.
Let's win a series.
Yeah.
And then this is of course a long ways out, but a Twins just winning a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It shouldn't be a lot to ask for in a decade.
No, not
or 2 decades. Sorry.
We're not asking for much at all. Let's just win a few series, guys.
Yeah.
Twins win a game.
Ultimately, I guess it was. If I went to Dinkytown and they lost.
You would have drank yourself to death.
I would have ordered 10 shots.
Yeah.
Because also the concert restricted me because there was lines and beers were more expensive and they didn't serve hard liquor at your right at your expense. So.
Yeah, but you got your fucking Sierra Nevada.
I did get a Sierra Nevada. I was doing pretty good, but I didn't just get. If I was in Dinkytown, I would have ordered. I swear, I would have probably ordered like 4 or 5.
Yeah, your liver's probably thankful you basically put yourself in a riot-free prison.
Yeah, honestly, it was. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. Dude, as soon as Quinnipiac scored, I get a text from my brother Gavin, and it just says, I bet Jake is devastated right now.
And I sent him a video. Yeah. At least I didn't lose my wallet twice in Vegas.
Like I said, I was watching that game with my dad, and when that goal happened in overtime, my jaw just dropped. Yep. And I just looked at him, and he looked at me for like 5 seconds. I don't even remember what he said because I'm not even like a Gopher hockey fan, but I was just in utter shock.
Yeah.
I think everyone was just in shock.
Well, and the thing is, too, about that goal, it happened in slow motion. They scored the goal with 10 seconds into the period, but you could tell about 4 seconds into the period that they were about to score.
I know.
So you slowly sat there for 6 seconds, like, watching them score, and it was just torturous.
Momentum-wise, too. You knew it was coming. Like, it's so hard to give up a 2-goal lead and get beat that bad on time of attack and then shots on goal. And then somehow miraculously score. Like, that never happens. So
we've seen this before in Minnesota hockey. That happened with the Wild in the bubble in the Vancouver series, Game 5 in that case. It was the best of 5, but still, it was the last game we went to. Or no, it was Game 4. I think it was the force of Game 5 because I think we lost that 2-1 or
you're
whatever.
Right, yeah.
But they literally scored like 10 seconds into that overtime. We went to overtime in that game, and they scored, and I was like,
Oh, and the funny part too is like the Canucks have barely had any success in the past few years except for against the Minnesota
I know,
Wild.
and of course that happens in Minnesota, and now
Yeah.
you have Quinnipiac beating Minnesota in overtime after coming down from 2-0. After being down 2-0. So it's Minnesota fashion at its best. That's all I can say.
Yep.
It's the way she goes.
All right, Wags, what do you got for your bit?
My bit is going to be the sports heaven bit. This Saturday was literal sports heaven. Sorry, not this last Saturday was literal sports heaven. We had the Masters, obviously with the Gopher Hockey National Championship game. There was a Wolves game. There was a Twins game. The St. Paul Saints played a doubleheader in St. Paul. There was a Wild game. The Loons had a game, and there was a UFC pay-per-view. I mean, that is one of the most jam-packed sports days of stuff that would interest me as a consumer that I've ever been a part of. So it was literally sports heaven this weekend.
October's overrated.
It is. Oh yeah, fuck October.
Let's start the conversation. Everyone talks all about October. Let's talk about April.
Yeah, April is now the new October.
Yeah.
Well, they say because October, it's like the sports paradox or whatever.
All 4 teams could play at once.
But or all 4 leagues
Yeah.
in general. But like this was just a day where like all of our leagues in our state were playing.
Yeah.
except the Vikes.
To those
Literally,
to
except
those
the
people though, I
Vikings
say the Masters don't play in October.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but yeah, with the Masters for sure. Like, yeah, that was a crazy day.
Even though we only got to see a couple hours of golf on Saturday because there was a hurricane in Augusta.
yeah, and trees
Trees
fell.
were falling.
Yeah, that was
I don't know how no
crazy.
one died from
Yeah.
that.
I know.
There was a story about a woman who was standing there literally, and a tree fell to the left of her, and she looked to her right, and another tree fell to the right of her. And she probably wondered if she was God for a second or something.
How like what was the official reasoning for them falling?
Maybe they retained too much water.
That's literally it.
I
though?
think all those
That's so
trees,
weird.
I'm pretty sure all those trees are planted there.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, everyone's coming out and saying, that's what happens when you put up a bunch of fake trees.
Oh god.
It's like, okay,
Conspiracy.
it's a golf course. Like,
Everything's a simulation.
beggars can't be choosers. You're not going to go build a golf course in the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah.
Like, let's get over that.
Well, yeah, because it looked like someone just like lightly put them on the ground and put some mulch around them, and they just fell.
Dad is tipped
yeah,
over.
it's almost like when you dig a hole to like stick a sign in or something,
Mm.
and you dug the hole too big, and it's like leaning out.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the trees were like.
It looked like they had no foundation.
Yeah, there was
That
not
was
really
crazy.
much there. All right, we'll go into my bit quick before our interview with Jerome Williams. Just sticking to sports, specifically Minnesota sports, I have the punch your teammate bit. The Timberwolves had the most Timberwolves scenario on Sunday, so let's read off the course of events. On Sunday, the Wolves played against, was it the Pelicans, I think? Obviously tight in terms of making the play-in tournament, which they did. We're recording this Tuesday, so we don't know the result of the game. You probably will know the result of the game when you listen to this on Wednesday. But on Sunday, Rudy and Kyle Anderson got in a heated argument during a timeout. One was saying you should rebound. The other said, well, why don't you try getting steals and assists? And then Kyle Anderson proceeded to call Rudy, or he said, shut the fuck up, bitch. Rudy throws a punch, gets sent home at half, resulting in a 1-game suspension given by the Wolves. Jaden McDaniels then punches something in the hallway of the tunnel. He's out for the year. And the best part of all of this, the Wolves win the game.
Somehow.
So
That's crazy.
all of this for a win on Easter Sunday. Who else but the Wolves? Oh my God. So like I said, we're recording this Tuesday night. The play-in game starts in a couple hours here. I don't think there's a chance in hell that the Wolves win the game. I think they're like plus 228 on the money line, 8.5 point underdogs. But what I will say is it would be incredible to watch the Wolves win this game because I will be watching ESPN all day tomorrow, just watching Stephen A. First Take, fucking Mike Greenberg, Max Kellerman. I want to watch all of them try to talk their way out of this.
They'll talk their way out of it by saying, they're going to win their second game of the play-in and go and play the first seed in the West, which is who?
They're going to say the city of Minnesota doesn't deserve
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
win. I can't
Yeah.
believe Stephen A. Smith referred to
They don't
Minnesota
deserve
as
that
a city.
win. What is hockey?
Yeah, first that fucking Molly girl says that hockey doesn't count as a
yes.
championship. It's like
It's kind of as a sport.
Whoa.
It is a sport.
Whoa.
Okay.
And then Stephen A. calls the city of Minnesota. It's like, I don't understand. It's not like we're a really, really small state. Like Minneapolis and St. Paul are very big, well-known cities.
Yeah.
How do you screw that up?
Yeah, they're like they know so little about us. It's like they're referring to a village in Russia when
Yes.
they're talking about us and our interests. It's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's LA and Boston, and then just everything else is just doesn't exist.
Yeah, so
And Jack, I know you laid out a lot of this, but yeah, the last 10 days for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Nas Reed breaks his wrist. You got Rudy Gobert fucking throwing a swing at Kyle Anderson. McDaniels breaks his right hand punching a wall. Did you hear what he said? He said that he was punching the curtain in front of the wall and he didn't know that the wall was behind it. That was his excuse.
Dude, come on.
And then after that, the Timberwolves internally suspended Gobert for a game. So yeah,
Which-
they're out of 3 players right now. 3 players who regularly would start.
which I think I get like team rules and culture and stuff. I think when it is a do or die situation, you throw all that shit out the window.
Yeah.
I think you sit down, Rudy, you sit down, Kyle, you yell at them, tell them to stop acting like children, scare them straight. Cool, let's go play. Let's go win a play-in game, Minnesota.
Let's get to the playoffs.
I understand I've never played at that level, right? So I'm sure emotions are way more heated than any level I've ever played at. I just could never imagine just like during the middle of the game calling my a teammate a bitch and fuck. It's like
Yeah.
when you're supposed to be working together and then the other person throwing a punch. That is that.
You guys are about to play in a play-in game. You still were trying to establish what seed you were going to play in that play-in game. Too. They could have lost and been a 9 or a 10, and you're calling each other out at the end of the season. Why would you do that?
It's just Timberwolves, dude. It's just
It
Timberwolves.
literally
It's
is the
hilarious.
Timberwolves. It's just how it is.
It's like when you go to a really fun place and you see 2 people arguing. It's like, why are we fighting here and now?
Yeah, we're in Valley Fair. Let's
They're-
not
yeah.
argue. No.
or you see a couple just
The Wolves
arguing.
have a chance to get in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
let's smile. This is
Exactly.
not a normal
We're in a fun
occurrence.
place. We're smiling. We should be smiling.
So
now.
correct me if I'm wrong. If the Wolves lose tonight, they're a high enough seed in the play-in tournament that they'd get another game for the
Yeah,
play-in?
yep.
Okay.
Consolation.
They
So at least Gobert, like if they lose tonight, he'd have a chance for some redemption.
Yeah, they
Little
could,
bit.
instead of being back-to-back play-in champs, we could be back-to-back play-in survivors.
Yes,
Back-
yes.
And playoff appearances, you should
Yes,
say.
hang the-
Back-to-back playing.
Oh yes, yes. Hang the banners.
Hang the
back to
banner.
back.
Put it in
playoff
Target Center,
appearances.
hang it in every sports venue at the Xo Energy Center. Even just we need notoriety that the Timberwolves actually made the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
2
actually
years in a row.
I'm so down for the Wolves to hang those banners. I mean, you are literally the one sports franchise with the worst winning percentage in all of the 4 major sports, right?
Yeah.
Hang your small victories. Hang them.
Well,
Screw it.
I just realized if they get out of the plan and they officially, because the plan technically isn't playoffs, but if they get out of the plan and make it into the playoffs, I think this will be the first time they have made the playoffs back to back in at least 20 years.
So
That's crazy.
it's just hilarious to me because I was watching, I usually like to turn on Get Up or First Take while I'm working just as background noise, and I happened to catch them talking about the Timberwolves, which rarely happens if you're a Minnesota sports fan. And while they're doing the breakdowns of the matchup, Wolves, Lakers, this was kind of when the stage was set. I took a photo of the screen of when they were talking about it. Why can I not? Here it is. So it says the first one, Rudy Gobert throws punch at teammate Kyle Anderson during Sunday's game. Jaden McDaniels out for season after fracturing hand from punching the wall. Team faces Lakers tomorrow in play-in tournament. And that's when I started to think that the phrase all press is good press is complete horseshit. Because that was a ricochet shot at the Wolves basically saying they're going to lose to the Lakers, and we're talking about it right now, 2 days before the game.
Literally, how do you lose that many players or have
10 days before the playoffs.
Yeah, 10 days before the Reed. That's more accidental, but that's more of an understanding. Minnesota shit happens. We lose players like that to injuries. But then Jaden McDaniels, you're punching a wall. Then Rudy Gobert, you punch your teammate because you're in an altercation in the last game of the season. This all
Neither of
happened in
these
the last
things
game of the
had
season.
to happen.
No.
These
Not
were
you already had Nas Reed. What are you guys doing? If I was like Chris Finch right now, I would be absolutely irate. Why are we acting like fucking children in the last game of the season?
Yeah.
And that's why
Goodness
the
gracious.
last 2 years, that's why the team just can't seem to get their shit together. Like they'll have long stretches of the season where they're below 500, and then they'll, towards
they'll
the
win
end, they'll
5.
get together, and then they'll win in the play-on tournament, right? And then lose in the first round. So
Well, now we
no
can we can
consistency.
finally start the conversation of Luka Garza better than Luka Doncic.
it's true.
There will be one Luka in the playoffs,
yeah,
and that will be
who's-
Luka Garza.
Yeah, who's the better Luka?
Yeah.
We might need Luka. Is Luka Garza gonna play?
He probably has
Probably
to.
he has to play
yeah.
now.
Doesn't have a choice.
Fucking
Hashtag depth.
damn it. Yeah.
All right, enough of us complaining about sports. Let's move into our interview with 4-star recruit Jerome Williams. Folks, welcome back to It's a Bit. We got our very special guest here, a future Gopher star. We got Jerome Williams. He's a 4-star recruit from Osseo, committed to the University of Minnesota. Jerome, it's great to have you in studio here, and really excited to seeing you on the field this fall.
All right, thank you for having me, and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, dude, you bet.
You're good, man. You came in wearing that badge and everything. Like, it was like, oh, this guy, you're legit. You got the fucking badge, and it's official, dude. Like, we're excited to have you at the U, man. It's going to be a fun time. What made you want to go there?
A lot of things came into like my decision, but probably the coaching staff was probably like number one for me. Obviously, it's like 25 minutes away from like where I live.
Yeah.
And it was like my first college football game. I went there, and it was like my first visit. So they were like the first coaching staff that I met, and like out of all the like coaching staffs that I met, they like constantly just like checked up on me, tried to get me back on campus, text messages, phone calls, all that type of stuff. So it was like really cool to like see that they like really wanted me, because like most schools I would only hear from them like once a month, once every 2 months. So that played a really big part in it. So yeah.
Were there any like runner-ups, or was it pretty obvious that it was the U?
By like December, I kind of just knew that I was gonna go there anyway. Like I could have dragged it out, went on more visits, but like I kind of just wanted to like get it over with and just done deal type of thing. But if I had to say there was like a runner-up, probably Iowa State.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you were going to say Iowa. No.
They didn't really recruit me. And they were like mad when I committed it. I was like, you guys didn't really recruit me.
You didn't even
Yeah.
talk to me.
It's funny. That's the same paradigm that Jake had. He was you were the U1 Iowa State too.
Probably most likely.
Except
yeah.
you're not an athlete.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not an athlete, so I'm not on the same scale at all. Intramurals, maybe. Or
Intramural recruitment.
Intramural recruitment. I was being recruited by the intramural group on campus.
Did you grow up a big Gopher fan or not really?
Not really, because I didn't really start playing football until like 9th grade.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
Yeah. And I wasn't like big into like college sports. I was more like NBA. I always just like watched basketball. So not really.
You a big Wolves guy?
It's hard to be.
It is hard. Yeah. Had a lot of interesting seasons. So
Yeah.
Interesting to say the least. It's
a lot
been
going on.
crazy.
Well, did you play basketball at school?
Oh yeah, I played freshman year, and then after that, like after I kind of like got a taste of football, that's when I just like was like, oh, kind of just go full send with football, see what it can get me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Gopher Hoops has been struggling lately. I mean, what are the odds we can get you in there, help them out?
Yeah, double up. double dip.
What position would you be?
With my skill set, probably like a 4 or 5. Like height wise, like guard.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I always, whenever I get like measured on campus, I'm 6'3.5".
Okay, you seem like you're
You
bigger than
seem
6'3".
You seem way taller than that.
Yeah.
It's just your stature.
Well, when you say you get measured on campus, is that are you a different height in high school or at the school or versus the campus?
Yeah, I always get like 6'5".
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a little extra
That's funny.
boost.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
a
a boost.
Maybe I need that.
Yeah.
Kind of pushing
I need
5'11".
to go to a high school and get
Get
measured for recruitment.
You can go to the girl at the bar. See, I am 6 foot.
See here? No, I have proof. I have certification from Osseo High School.
Yep. 6'5". That's what it's all about.
That's what it says.
I've always wondered too, like in terms of the coaching staff. I know there's been a lot of really great like O linemen who have come out of the U. Notable example. What is his name? I always forget.
Daniel
Yeah.
Falele.
Yeah. Well, I think
Falele.
that the Gopher center from last year is also supposed to be a high pick this
John
year.
Michael Schmitz.
Yep, that's him.
Yes.
So
okay.
so when you're getting recruited, do you actually get to meet like your line coach? Do you get to meet that person?
Yeah, he was like one of the first people I talked to and like exchange like contacts with, and like he was like who I talked to the most, and he would just like just text me like, oh, how are you doing? How's football? Or like when I was in basketball, he's like, oh, how's basketball? And he just asks like how my family's doing and like what I've been up to this week. So yeah, I do talk to the position coach a lot, and I talk to like the recruiters a lot, or like Coach Fleck a lot.
Yeah, nice.
So you say like you went to like a game there, and you said your first game you went to was that Bowling Green homecoming game, which says a lot. Then that it's not just about necessarily a team winning. That in one game that, makes your decision. It's about everything else and factors outside of that. And we appreciate you for still committing, even though after that, that game was but it's one game.
Do we like when Minnesotans stay here though?
Yes,
too,
we
right?
do. Hometown kids.
Especially as a 4-star recruit, like we're used to you going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is pretty incredible that you stuck around here.
Yeah.
Well, does the 4-star label, do you even care about stars or anything? I'm sure you're just trying to play football and just try to play somewhere beyond high school.
It does a little bit. I would be lying if I say I didn't care about it. Because, I went from, a 3 to a 4 after I went to camp there, actually.
How does that work? Like, this preseason, do they give you the star? Or, how does that happen?
They'll just, watch your film from, in season, and they give you, a rating. And then, they'll either, re-look at that exact film or, they'll see you at, a camp. And, they'll just up you to whatever they feel is necessary.
Okay.
It still blows my mind you didn't start playing till 9th grade. You went from 9th grade to a 4-star recruit in just 4 years, which is nuts.
Yeah. I mean, what was that feeling when you first? I'm not sure who gave you your first scholarship offer, but what was that feeling like when you received your first scholarship offer?
I was expecting it, but at the same time, I wasn't fully sure because my coach at my high school was Iowa State's recruiting, and this is 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and I'm kind of caught me off guard because if I'm being honest with myself, I didn't think I was gonna get an offer to senior year, and I didn't think it was gonna be Power 5 football.
Yeah.
So it was huge. I remember I got there, they just got my measurements type of thing, and then headed out to the stadium, watched warm ups, and then the offensive line coach came up to me. We just had a quick conversation. At the end of the conversation, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna offer you a scholarship," and then he just walked away.
Is that quick?
Yeah.
It's okay.
And then I shook his hand, and then he just walked away.
You think it'd be something more elegant or a little more presentation or something you're getting a scholarship, man, but no, it's just quick.
It's almost kind of borderline sketchy. It's hey, for your
real?
if you accept this offer, meet me in this parking ramp
At 9 p.m. on Saturday night.
Shows up wearing a trench coat. It's
Here's your scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I called my mom, called my dad, and then I think the third person I called was my cousin.
Yeah.
So it was really huge for me, huge for my mom. My mom cared a lot. She doesn't really watch football, but she was really excited.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna watch a lot now.
Yeah.
She's gonna watch a ton more football.
Yep.
Does she does she go to a lot of your games or no?
She went to a couple high school games because she doesn't like the cold So she went to
you chose the wrong school for cold, man.
Exactly, so she'll probably come to games September, October, and then November.
Those are TV games.
And those games are going to mean the most too, especially later in the stretch if you're playing for the West Division to go to the Big Ten Championship. Mom, are you coming out? Nope. It's too cold. No. I mean, I get it though. It can be really brutal though.
It's the Iowa game and Wisconsin game. We usually play November, right?
Yeah,
usually. Dude. We were at the Iowa one this year, and our tent blew over. We were trying to fasten a tent while it's minus 20 with the wind chill, and it's only the bravest fans survive.
Hey, but we figured it out.
We did.
And Tanner Morgan did, as we're ripping on the cold lot. We don't want to scare you for playing in the cold.
Lived here.
No, you have played here obviously. Yeah. So, but Tanner Morgan I think was saying, and I think even Mariano said we fucking love those games.
Yeah,
that was the grit of football playing in the cold, and that's where you can really have that home field advantage.
Yeah. You got to come here and play us in the tundra.
Yeah, you're not getting it because even down in Iowa City, I don't even think games are getting that cold.
No.
Just that little far south. So you can take that to your advantage.
Something I wanted to bring up. I saw in your U of M football intro pictures on Instagram you were eating pancakes, and you claimed to be the CEO of Pancakes.
Oh.
First off, how much does that position pay? And second off, why pancakes? Is that your go-to breakfast or?
Kind of the whole pancake block type of
offensive line. I figured that was it, but
yeah.
As a pancake guy myself, I thought you might have been in the corner of it's my favorite breakfast food.
Probably is.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Best of both worlds.
It's a double-edged sword, or a double meaning.
Then do you eat pancakes for dinner, or what would be your go-to food then for the dinner?
Kind of anything, to be honest. I eat a lot, and I'll eat almost anything at any time of day.
Are you one of those guys who drinks all those gross shakes or no?
Oh no.
No, you don't do that. Okay.
Oh, come on. All the best football players are doing it.
4 raw eggs,
no.
2 scoops of protein,
And
like
3
the
sticks of
Rocky-
butter.
Yeah.
like the
it's
Rocky
ridiculous.
bit where you cracks 10 eggs, raw eggs in a cup and drinks it. Well,
It's funny because
Don't do that.
you're the opposite of our producer Cam, who like only eats chicken fingers. So
I wish he was here right now.
to hear that you eat anything anytime is just complete opposite of Cam. But
like throw a bowl of cereal together at like 11 p.m.
dude, I had cereal 2 hours ago, Captain Crunch.
I'm not gonna lie. I think cereal is like an elite and underrated night
It
food.
is.
It's
It
just
is.
a great night snack,
or
nice
even a
and easy.
dinner. Why not?
Yes.
I mean, there is what nutrients and grains and fiber
It's
and
2023.
cereals.
Have what you want for
Yeah,
dinner.
come on. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Whatever. I mean, look, we got a 4-star recruit here that is going to the University of Minnesota and loves saying he loves eating cereal at 11 a.m. And anything. Don't anyone. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think everyone's telling you got to eat those awesome or those super healthy shakes or eat this in the morning. And no, fuck that. Just work hard and eat cereal.
He's a pancakes guy. Remember that too,
You're
Jay?
a pancakes guy, so you can eat pancakes and cereal, and you're gonna go somewhere in life.
Right.
I'm not kidding.
Exactly. That's all it takes.
Don't let anyone tell you differently.
Yeah, but when we eat that stuff, Jake, we're not going anywhere in life.
No.
There's other factors, maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
inhibiting that.
maybe. Okay.
But yeah,
Hey, we have this fun game here. It's called Could You Block It? I think we're going to go around the room, name a few things, and let us know if you think you could block this item, okay?
Christian Darasaw got the same set list here.
Yes,
So
okay. Could you block a slow-rolling Prius?
it's a neutral.
yeah.
It's a neutral, so it'll have some give.
Okay, I think I could get it.
Okay, there
We're gonna try it. All right, later. No.
Jack, you want to go next?
Yeah. Could you block a field goal? You're tall. I guess you played basketball. You got some experience there.
I think I could block a field goal.
There we go.
I'll just like sneak in, just like real quick.
You could also be like a jump the line type of guy too.
I'll probably
though.
just try to knock somebody over and just like,
Pancake them. There you go.
We're just doing
Bull
it.
rush him.
Yeah, go for it. Could you successfully block calls from your ex?
yeah.
There we go.
Has that already been Has that already been done? Okay, but you could do it. We just know that. Okay, perfect.
What about a jump shot? I think, that's pretty obvious, yeah.
That's really
I think about one last one.
Slap shot. Hockey. Could you get in front of a flying puck?
If I have all that stuff on,
Yeah.
I think I could.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
okay.
we go. Like
Love
we're
the
five
confidence.
for five. There we
5
go.
for 5. I love it.
you
I don't
won.
even know Christian Darasaw went 5 for 5.
I think he was 4 for 5.
I think he was 4
I
for
think
5.
I
so.
think he said the slap shot. No way. He was scared of that.
The Prius one that kind of just like got you like.
I think you could legitimately push a Prius at least 10 miles an hour. I don't think they're that heavy, are they? Eco-friendly.
They
How
have
fast
wheels.
Is like a slap shot though, like
Some of them go 90 miles an hour.
Well, you're talking about NHL players?
Yeah.
I mean, Ovechkin was beating 100 miles per
Let's say
hour.
college. So someone who plays for the Gophers is probably shooting 85 to 90.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's say Matthew Nyes.
Matthew Nyes, he's now gone.
He's an NHLer.
Snuggerud is coming back, though. So you can take a slap shot from him. He's a fellow Gopher hockey player. So we let's set something up. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. We don't have to.
I'd assume is basketball your second favorite sport then, or is it your first favorite sport?
it's probably my
It's your first. Okay,
Oh, wow.
that's interesting. Yeah.
So do you have a go-to NBA team?
Lakers.
No, what?
As the night we're recording this, they are playing
Oh boy.
the Timberwolves in the extravagant NBA play-in tournament.
Yes. Right. We're trying to become back-to-back playing tournament champions. No big deal.
Just playoff tournament, just even playoff appearances in general.
Right,
back
so
to back.
the Wolves can lose tonight. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We still have another game.
There is a
planned.
scenario, Jerome, where both of your favorite teams. Wait, would you say the Wolves are at number 2 though? Oh shit, we're not even
Yeah,
in
you
the
just
top
keep going
3?
down the list.
Top 10.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go.
So you could say
Top-
two of your top 10 favorite teams could make it into the playoffs. There's a scenario out there.
Top 30.
Yeah,
That's every
top
team.
teams in the league. Another one too. You were one of the first athletes in the state of Minnesota to get an NIL deal, and I know that's a kind of a super exciting time for college athletes in general to get these deals. I guess what is that experience like?
I was crazy. I think I got the idea proposed to me mid basketball season, but like it's against like state high school rules to like sign in season, so had to wait until like late March to sign it. But like we were talking about it since like early February.
Dude, how cool is it that they're actually in the state of Minnesota finally allowing these NIL deals?
I think it's really cool. I feel like players should like be able to like use like their image to just,
Yeah, 100%.
and
Yeah.
I think it's like really cool that I was able to get one, and like the person I got one with is like someone I've known for a couple years now, and like we're both really big on like community and giving back. So like I'm really like excited to have that deal.
Awesome. And sorry if you don't mind me asking, but who are you? Who do you sign your deal with?
PPA, Premier Pinball and Amusement.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
And that's sweet too, because like you mentioned, giving back to the community. I mean, that's what it's all about. Like even us, so we're jokesters on the internet, but we, at the end of the day, it's about using your influence to give back to charity. So
Yeah, because we're influencers. It's just so
Shut
funny
up.
when someone calls me that or calls us that, but we are technically.
We were invited to when the Twins unveiled their new jerseys back in I guess beginning of winter.
November,
They invited us, so we showed up, and they're like, "Oh, are you guys influencers?" And it was the weirdest thing to say.
Oh, you're gonna
yes,
sit
like,
here
yes.
like
influencers are people who don't work. Like we still work. We don't go to the Bahamas and take pictures on a boat. That's what an influencer.
I mean,
is.
Jerome, would you consider yourself an influencer?
Yeah.
At this point,
Not really, no.
He's an athlete. Athletes
Yeah.
are different.
Athletes are people who work hard and carry influence.
yeah.
Sure.
but they're not influencers.
Right.
And,
Carry
the term
They're
doesn't
not,
mean it.
on the boat
Yes.
in the Bahamas, right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I wanted to ask. We mentioned Daniel Lele earlier, and I know they put him in at running back in one of the bowl games. Picture this: they need to put you in running back in a certain specific scenario or a play. Would you be fully willing to do it?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's like goal line, I'm scoring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just, I feel like that more teams got to
get-
utilize that.
Throw you in on the one, almost like a fullback situation.
Yeah. I'm scoring.
Hashtag bring back the fullback.
Well, did you ever growing up, or like when you started? Did you? I think I read though you started in defense though.
Yeah, I started playing defensive end.
Defensive
Yeah.
end, and then when did you transition over to offense? Then
Sophomore year, I got moved up to varsity, and I started at left tackle. So like that's when I
really like your
I
last
played a little
year,
bit
huh?
of like offense, but like it was mostly defense. For me.
Really?
And I was on B team. Like that's how late I joined.
Damn.
Yeah, well, because
Wow.
you just started. That
I
which
joined,
still
like,
blows my mind.
Week 5, like we had 3 more games left at that point. So
Yeah.
What was that transition like going from defense to offense? Was it pretty seamless for you?
no, not really, because the sophomore year I wasn't good.
Yeah.
Always getting picked on like in the film sessions. So yeah, I wasn't very good.
Yeah, but that led you to growth and becoming the player you currently are, right? So that's
Yeah.
huge.
Do you ever miss playing defense?
A lot.
Yeah.
Just unleashing your rage,
Yeah.
which you still can do as an offensive lineman, going back to the pancake bit. But yeah,
I just got to imagine like sacking a quarterback probably feels a lot better than preventing him from being sacked.
This is top 5 film
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if you force a fumble, pick it up, and just seeing the big defensive guys tackle and run down the field and scoop and score. It's one of the best sights in football. It really is.
I don't think there's anything better, to be honest.
That's great. Well, I think they should have put you. Going with the running back, I think they need to put more big guys in like wide receiver roles and stuff. Fuck tight end.
just see what happens.
Just see what happens. I mean, your guys like you are hard to tackle, so I think that there needs to be more experimentation. But who knows what PJ Fleck has in store for you? It might be more than just offensive line. I don't know.
Hope so.
Well, and speaking of Fleck, we've had quite a few Gophers on this podcast, and they've told some pretty incredible stories about some of PJ's metaphors and some of his antics. How excited are you to play for a guy like that?
Oh, it's really exciting because like he always has like this his energy is always just like fills up the whole room. Like you feel it, everybody else feels it, and it kind of elevates like the whole environment almost. He just like expects like the best of everybody. He's always like positive, always just like cares for his players on and off the field. So it's like a really good feeling knowing that you're like playing under somebody like that.
And I'm guessing you've kind of felt that since being recruited, like all the way back. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So have you already had? I was going to ask you, have you already had any interesting interactions with Fleck?
No, not really.
I think
you can tell
he probably saves like the good stuff
Yeah.
for the season.
Yeah.
I figure.
I was gonna say we'll have you back on in a year, and you'll tell a couple stories.
What was
After just 1 year.
Cole Keefe, he was telling us a funny story on how like every week they deemed like their weeks on like pop stars, right? Something like that.
Music artists.
Music
So
artists,
Every
yeah.
week was a
For a
new
season.
theme, and he had a Steve Aoki theme where he threw a cake at his assistant. So,
Yeah. So that was the best Flex story we've gotten
Through
so
the
far.
vase across the room or something
Yeah.
like that.
And now that Mariano, Tanner, and Co have all graduated, you got to be our storyteller
Yeah.
now.
We'll hit you up in a few
For the
years.
next few years,
Yes.
because I'm sure you're gonna have a lot to maybe even say it in 1 week.
Yeah.
Who knows? So yeah, that's awesome. Well, another thing we asked Darisaw too, we asked him like if we attempted to get around you 10 times to get to the quarterback, would we be able to? So out of 10 times, how many times do you think we could get around you? I'm wearing that Vikings helmet over there. How many times would I be able to get around you?
You can be mean if you want.
Yeah, you can be honest.
I feel like maybe I might give up like 1 sack.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe one.
Maybe like a late rep. Maybe you're a little tired. And that's when he sneaks by you.
See, but I think we'd be more tired.
Oh yeah, I would agree. I would if honestly 0. That's what I'm thinking. But
I think maybe I'd try something you've never seen before, like I'd army crawl under your legs. Or
I was just
something.
about to say that.
I think that's the only way I might do is like doing some rookie shit that you've never seen before. That's about all I can come up
Our
with.
best friend growing up in high school, he was the center of our football team, and he was no stars, right? He was no one to write home about, and it was impossible for us to get by him. Yeah, so
set the line at 0.5.
Yeah, a 0.5 over under.
Bet
We
on a
can
miracle.
have a whole betting line, set up for it and everything. So that would be very interesting. But.
Yeah. Well, do you guys have any more questions for him?
no, I mean I'm ready to go into rapid fire unless Jake has anything.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess I want to ask: is there anyone on the current roster current Gophers roster? I know you probably haven't met a lot of players, but that you maybe know of that you're most excited to play with.
Ariante Ursi. He was my kind of like my host for my official visit, so he was like around me and my family a lot. I was like around him a lot. We talked. Like sometimes I would text him, and he just gives like good advice and good like role model for me, I would say. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to like be playing with him, that type of thing. Yeah, him. Do guys in my grade count?
Yeah,
for sure. Oh yeah.
My buddy Greg, I'm really excited to play with him. I think we're gonna be really good, both of us. I think we both got like high ceiling, high motor type of guys, and I think like we're both gonna be on the interior too. So like it's gonna be like really cool to play with him.
Yeah. You say Grant?
Greg Johnson.
Great. Okay, sounds
Awesome.
good. Yep.
Can you pronounce the quarterback's name you're going to be protecting? Can you pronounce his name? Most likely he's going to be the starting quarterback, but
Kelly Ekmanis.
Yeah.
you got it.
See,
That's awesome.
we always pronounce it a different way every time.
Kind of on purpose,
but
maybe not.
sometimes not. Athens, Kaliakmanis.
That's such a Greek name.
Kaliak praying mantis.
Kaliakmanis.
I like that one.
He's exciting. I'm super pumped for this year. I think
Yeah, he's gonna be really good.
We just got a little sneak peek of what he can do, but he blew all of our minds last year.
He's gonna be the guy, and you're gonna be the guy blocking him.
Yep.
Two guys, playing football.
Exactly. It's gonna be a fun year. But like we said, the final segment we have here, just rapid fire, just 10 questions as fast as you can go. First one, you're on a deserted island for the rest of your life. You can only listen to one song. What do you listen to?
Oh.
It's tough.
XR Tool Life by Lil Uzi Vert.
There we go.
Yeah, dude. I haven't heard that one since college, but that was definitely on the repeat.
Oh, that was a banger when we were in
a party
college.
song.
It had like that keyboard clicking sound in the beginning. It's a good song. How many fourth graders could you fend off in self-defense?
Like 100.
I love it.
And counting.
Like they're all like coming like one by one, or is it like?
Yeah. One. We'll say one by one,
Yeah.
single file line.
Yep.
I'm not gonna get like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Minneapolis or St. Paul? Which one do you prefer?
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like more stuff to do there.
True. You know, it's honestly like what most people we've had on the show, it's like what fan of a team they are. So if they're a Wild fan, they're choosing St. Paul. But if they're
That's a
literally
big
any
thing.
other fan, like Vikings, T-Wolves, whatever, it's Minneapolis.
Yeah.
That's usually the association is big Wild fans.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I had a Hawaiian pizza like yesterday.
Oh,
Really?
there we go.
So you are a yes guy.
It's not my go-to, but like if it's there, I'll eat it. Probably
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
like eat like anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
Kinda
gonna say
where
that
I'm at.
it aligns
Same
with
here.
what you answered earlier. So.
I'm not gonna request it or order it, but
Yeah,
like
like,
if it's
I'll
there,
eat it.
it's not
Yeah.
bad. But
Yeah.
Not going to throw a hissy fit if it's
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
Right. If you were given an all expenses paid trip to North Dakota, would you take it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I
It's
did.
all expenses. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
why not?
right.
You can make fun
Yeah,
anywhere.
you can do something with it.
Yeah.
If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Rome Will.
Rome Will. I like it.
You sound like you thought about
Yeah,
that
you
before.
didn't even think about
yeah,
it, dude.
like Rome Will.
Sounds like a classy type of whiskey that like it's been aged for 100 years. Like Rome Will. They found it at the bottom of some Scottish castle. That's sick. What's the worst fast food place?
Arby's.
Arby's. Yeah. Classic answer.
I
What?
didn't even have to like think about that.
What's your least favorite part about Arby's?
Just like It doesn't look appealing to me.
Yeah.
I've had it once just to like prove that it wasn't good, and it was like,
You already knew it going in.
Yes. See, I'm a big
Roast beef sandwiches aren't visually appealing.
Yeah,
So when you
I
see
like-
the ads, it's like,
I know.
I'm good.
But
yeah.
I love Arby's. I'm a big Arby's guy. But that, I don't know. I get why people don't like it, but like, it's not your traditional
It is
fast
funny
food,
how
but-
much we get that answer.
But White Castle is definitely like the
Yeah.
leading, and
White
Burger
Castle.
King.
Yeah,
Mike,
those are the
White
three.
Castle behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we get Long John Silver's
Yeah,
too.
which is fine. That's great.
That's an
a good
acceptable answer. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Okay. If a movie's made about your life, who's playing you?
I have a twin brother. He could probably play me.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Really? You have a
Yeah.
twin brother? Does he play football?
He plays, but he's not like playing in college.
Okay.
Like, we
Yeah.
were on the team together. It was like kind of funny because like
Yeah.
we'd always go against each other, like just like in practice. So.
Yeah.
Is he a good actor?
Probably not. It would be a pretty bad movie. Starring in it, yeah.
I'd like to see it. That'd be fun.
And the final one on here is just give us your strike three call if you were an ump.
It's tough.
This is a safe space. You can go all out.
Yeah.
Like, I could just say anything.
Just any antic, whatever.
Yep. However you want to do it, man.
Get the fuck out.
That's the most like just straight to the point when we got. Get the fuck out.
You're out. You're done.
Yeah. No arguing. Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Well, Jerome, where can people find you? Because I know there's gonna be a lot of Gopher fans listening.
You can find me at like a Gopher practice.
Yeah.
Or like,
What are your socials?
yeah. Sorry, I could have worded that a little better.
Instagram, Rome Willie, 1L and WILI.
Yeah.
And like that's really what I use mostly.
Sweet.
So
You were literal though. They can find you at Gopher
They can
practice.
find you. They should find you.
Not long.
Hopefully
They
find
have
you.
some public practices, open
I've been
practices.
on
So
campus like too many times. So a lot of them probably like just see me like waltzing around.
just go to Dinky Town. You'll see me around.
Eventually.
I'll be-
Yeah.
Eventually.
You'll find me somewhere
Yep.
around. But yeah, Jerome, thanks so much, man, for coming in here. And we're like we mentioned, we're Gopher season ticket holders. No big deal. We're pumped to watch you on Saturdays.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
This was fun. I need to do more of these.
Dude, you're welcome back on anytime.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Yeah.
make it. Like we said, you're our
Annual.
inside guy now for the PJ stories. So
Yeah. Annual.
I'll come back like exactly
A year.
a year.
There we go.
A year.
you'll be a changed man.
Yep. After we won the national championship.
Yep.
We'll
Stories
see.
to tell.
Love it, man.
Sweet. Well, thanks again.
Yeah.
thank
Good luck,
you,
man.
dude.
Thank you.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I've never had Cracker Jacks. Honestly, I don't know outside of baseball who actually buys Cracker Jacks. Did your mom ever say like, "Oh, hey, I bought some Cheez-Its, some Ritz Bits, and some fucking Cracker Jacks"? Nope. No chance. Nope. But you know what? We're gonna try them. First time ever. I've sang that song as a baseball fan my entire life. I get a prize. As long as the Twins cover, that's the only prize I want. Gotta open that up. All right, first time having a Cracker Jack. I have a couple of them. So it's basically the caramel in caramel corn.
With some peanuts.
Is all Cracker Jacks is.
Is there peanuts in there?
I don't see
That's
any.
Cracker Jacks is caramel corn and peanuts.
They have like 4 peanuts.
It's not Cracker Jack since the 1970s.
This is literally caramel corn. That's all this is. That's incredible. It's good though. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Take me out to the ball game. That's all it is. It's caramel. It's good. It's yeah. Let's go. I might get Cracker Jacks more often now. Now I know. All right, folks, welcome back. Awesome interview with University of Minnesota recruit Jerome Williams. Let's get into the final segment, something we haven't done in a while. It's guys doing business. We always say that we're guys in the business world doing business, making deals, making cash. And in this rendition of it, we're crooks in the pharmaceutical industry. We're coming up with magic pills to help with stuff. And we're each going to pitch you 3 different ideas for pills that we want to invent. So we'll just go round table. Zane, what do you got?
Okay, good evening, Sharks. Thank you for joining me tonight. As you know, Minnesota sports has caused us fevered nightmares. I mean, just look at what happened this past weekend when the Gophers lost in heartbreaking fashion in the national championship game.
Jake.
Absolutely devastating, right, buddy?
Oh yes.
But what if I told you? What if I told you there's hope?
He doesn't know what that is.
Is there hope?
Okay, well, by hope, I don't mean one of our sports teams actually winning a championship. That is unfortunately a little too unrealistic. However, we have the next best thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to you the one and only drug. It's called copium. By taking this pill, you will be able to cope with the devastating defeats the state of Minnesota will eventually provide. Just take one pill and it will turn your mood from sad to indifferent. So what do you say, Sharks? Are you in?
Yeah. And hopefully, if I take enough copium, my hair will be gone because I'll shave my head after the Wild win the first round against the Dallas Stars.
There we go.
Do you have a sample for us today?
Not today.
Oh,
So it's just still a
damn it.
prototype.
I could use a copium right now.
We're testing on rats. We're gonna get to humans soon.
That sounds like something that some really sketchy guys sell behind a library, and that you have to smoke from a spoon. That you have to light it on fire and then like inject it into your veins.
Yeah, you melt it down, put it in a syringe,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
get that copium in here.
Copium sounds like it's going to be the next epidemic
Yeah.
in 2027.
You know, we can look into that, making it intravenous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right, Jake, what's your first idea?
All right. Hello, Sharks. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here today.
You seem just thrilled today.
I'm thrilled. Anyway, is there something that you have been waiting for that is maybe weeks out, months out, or maybe even years away, but you don't want to wait for it?
Yeah, you getting laid, right?
Oh. Listen.
Virgin,
All right.
Virgin joke.
Oh, it's a virgin joke. That's funny. We might have a pill for that too, believe me, but that not today. No, but you've been like there was if you're waiting for something and it's weeks away, maybe like for our case, the Vegas vacation will be months away, or it's not till next year, and we're always waiting for it. Well, I want to introduce to you today.
Oh boy, he's stumbling.
We
He's
got there.
nervous.
I maybe have taken a few of these pills. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, comatone. If you take these pills, if you take one pill, it'll knock you out for a week. But if you take two, it'll knock you out for 2 weeks. You can take up to 4 pills where it's not going to kill you, and you'll knock you out, put you in a healthy coma where you do not need. You do not need to eat or drink, and it'll feel like an instantaneous sleep, and you'll wake up feeling great. It's an example. If you've seen South Park, Eric Cartman cannot wait for the Wii to come out, even though it's out for 3 weeks. He's sitting outside a GameStop, stumbling back and forth. We deal with that in real life. If you do not want to wait that long for a big event or for a vacation, you can take some comatone, and it'll knock you out. And it'll put you in a healthy coma. This has been tested in rats.
FDA approved.
FDA approved. We're working on that, by the way. Not yet. But comatone, it will allow you to sleep in a healthy way, and it'll feel like an instantaneous coma, I should say. You'll come out of it no matter how, depending on the amount of pills you ingest, but you can sleep your way to your destination.
Do you still go to the bathroom during these periods?
It retains all bodily fluids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jake,
to hear.
But what do you say to the people who love to give out the quote, "It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about the process."
Well, we have been working on.
You don't believe the journey.
Well,
you believe skipping the journey.
Skipping the journey and get there immediately. There are a lot of people that want it, or maybe you want to fake to someone you went in a coma. You don't want to go to a person's wedding. Oh, he's in a coma. That's a horrible thing to do, but you can use these pills however you want. Just don't take more than 4. You might die and never wake up.
Yeah, definitely read the instructions.
Oh, the election is coming up. I'm going to take 4 of these pills.
That's actually a good time to take one. Just pass out for a month.
Pass out for a month and just wake up. I don't even want to know what happened. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, comatone.
Comatone. You guys actually came up with names. I'm more of a just deliver it as it is, what you see is what you get kind of guy. And I'm just going to play it off as that because I underprepared.
It's a working prototype.
Yeah. So my first invention, this is actually an idea I had back in college that I obviously did not have the smarts to back up, but is the sober pill. So why in the world would you ever need to, sleep over at a stranger's house, lay on a floor, rent a dirty hotel room for $100, pay for a $200 Uber during a surge zone at 2 a.m. in Minneapolis when you could just pop a pill, and next thing you know, you're sober again. No more hangovers. The blood is cleaned out. Drunk driving accidents go way down in terms of numbers of people who do that. No more hangovers. And, Uber and Lyft might go out of business, which prevents probably tens of thousands of people from getting income, which is unfortunate. Maybe the taxis make a comeback. New York City, I know they're still using taxis there. So the sober pill, what do you guys think about that? Would you do it?
Oh, I'm 1,000% in. I would just love to go to a game, get as drunk as I fucking wanted to, really, really enjoy it, take a pill, and 30 minutes later drive home.
Yep.
I'm buying in.
Yeah.
You're sober. Do we have to worry about sober overdoses?
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't want to take 10 of them.
Okay.
And also, too, you really have to honor the amount of time it takes to kick in. Like, I don't want to see anyone taking the sober pill and jumping behind the wheel.
You need the 30-minute wait
30
time?
minutes.
Yeah.
Same as you should. Same amount of time that it takes your stomach to digest food before your mom lets you go back in the pool. Whatever gray amount of time that is.
Or the same amount of time that you may or may not have if you drink six shots of Fireball and you say you can drive home before it kicks in.
Right. Yeah. That's
just not true.
I know people who say that. That's not scientifically true.
As a shark, can I maybe give you a suggestion?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, maybe you sell each bottle of pills with like a little portable BAC.
Ooh.
reader.
Almost like Jim Leahy in the last episode of
Yes, in Trailer Park
last
Boys.
season of Trailer Park Boys. He was blowing in to see what his BAC was so he could determine if he's allowed to drink more or not.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
Zane, are you saying you're buying in? Are you going to give him a deal or not?
Don't rush me. Don't rush me.
I'll give you your $300,000 you're asking for 25% stake paid back over a 12-month period.
And on top of that, I want 20% equity.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And equity. Yep. You got to throw in
Yeah.
equity.
I live in my parents' basement, so I'll take anything at this point. All right, Zane, your second idea.
Yeah, are you guys like me? And have you had enough of just spending $12 for a beer at a fucking sports game?
Yep.
Well,
No.
Well, let me just tell you something, okay? I got something that's going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? Introducing the Stay Buzzed pill. This is literally...
Let's team up.
Yes.
Let's team up.
It's kind of like
marketing.
the opposite of the sober pill, but how does it work? Pretty much before the game, you get to your preferred level of buzzed. Now, I don't care how you do it. You go to Tom Reed's, right? Pre-game there. You could maybe take a shot of Fireball and do Uber on the way over. Hey, maybe even tailgate your way there, right? However, once you obtain your ideal level of buzzed, just take this pill to maintain your buzz for the next 2 to 3 hours. You're going to stay at the same exact buzz the whole entire way. And this way, you can achieve how drunk you want to be before the game and stay there the entire game without dropping money on $12 beers.
And you don't got to go pee all the time.
And you don't got to go pee.
Those
all the
two
time.
things I feel like I do more than watch sporting events when I go to sporting events.
The bathroom, even for the men's line at Wilder, it's
insane.
crazy. But yeah, well, we're gonna make it in such a way where like you could take that, and then later in the night you could take the sober pill.
Yep.
So we'll work something out there. But that's pretty much what I was thinking.
Maybe if you buy 3 buzz pills, you get a free thing of sober pills.
Yeah, there you go. We'll work it out.
We're turning people into drug addicts at this point.
I mean,
That's okay.
That's pretty much
Buy
just,
one, get one.
That's just pretty much our lives, anyways, man. We wake up, we chug energy drinks, or we
Yeah.
chug coffee, or we chug whatever, right? And we just kind of live off drugs. So
and gamble on sporting events and drink beer. We were born to make bad decisions.
yep. And these pills will help us make even more bad
Efficiently,
decisions.
though.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Jake, idea number 2.
Idea number 2. All right. I have a few on the list. I'm trying to think. All right, I got one. All right. Do you ever feel like you maybe...
Oh, God.
If you ever feel you've had a horrible one-night stand and the next day you just want to forget about it?
Jake, Plan B already exists.
Or this could go hand in hand with Plan B. But that also does not take away the fact that you could still have a kid. This is not Plan B. Do not use this as a substitute for Plan B. Or you maybe have a bad day of sports betting and you're depressed about it for the next few days. Or you witness a national championship and you are depressed about it.
Well, there's copium for that.
But I know there's copium for it. But
And
what if
there's
you want to?
comatone?
But what if you and comatone as well? But if you want to still be awake, but you don't want to try to cope with it and know what happened, you can completely remove that memory out of your head. We have a pill, the dememorizer,
The dememorizer.
the dememorizinator pills. That specifically will knock out the memory of the last 24 to 48 hours,
So-
depending on how many pills you take.
Is a good example, Jake, a particular hockey game on Saturday night that you want to forget about.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would take it in that case because the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert was fucking amazing. But if I didn't go to the concert, yes, I wake up. What game? What game?
what are you
What are you
talking
talking about? I'm gonna go take some comatone for the next month, but as well, if you put them together, it's probably worse than Speedball.
You probably don't want to mix any of these drugs.
No, not at all. But the
severe side
dememorizinator is what we call it, and these pills will essentially, depending on what you take, 24 to 48 hours out of your head. Don't even think about it. It does nothing. You don't think about it. It's crazy. It's like Men in Black, when they spray that light or flash that light in front of somebody, you don't remember that.
Or what
at
people
all.
say that when you've reached the end of the flat Earth, they shoot you with a memory gun and you
Yep,
forget
exactly.
that you saw the end of the Earth.
We worked with that team, by the way,
Yeah.
on this pill, so we know exactly what we're talking about.
We have the technology.
We have the technology to erase that memory from your head of whatever it may be, from a poor one-night stand to a bad night of drinking to bad decisions.
It's like, so if I were to witness like a family member die horribly, I could take this pill.
Yes,
Okay.
and you feel a lot better. But but be careful, because then if you figure out that they died again,
you might go
try to
through
take another pill and you could overdose, and you can't die on this, but you will forget who you are eventually if you keep taking it within a short amount of time, which some people have tried to do, and it's ended horribly. So be careful.
All right. Once again, very simple delivery. I just got a sentence for my next one. I'm going to create a night vision pill. I want to be able to see in the dark, but not look like a fucking nerd doing it.
I mean, yeah, let's. I'm down for that. Dude.
Why not?
Everyone's going to answer to this. Well, you can just buy night vision goggles.
You look like a
Fuck
nerd.
that.
I don't want to look like a nerd. I already look like a nerd. I wear glasses. I'm skinny. Like what? I just want to be able to see in the dark without having to look like more of a nerd.
Dude, it reminds me of Step Brothers. Like, you know what the coolest thing is? Like night vision goggles, and they both have these huge ass goggles on their face. And I think it's like Will Ferrell, and he's like, the funny thing is you can barely even notice these things, even though they're obviously huge on your fucking face. To actually be able to see in the dark without them, I mean, you could actually be helping the military-industrial complex with that.
True.
Man.
Yeah, like you buy a pill instead of a full
$500
piece of technology.
Yes.
I think the only people that look cool wearing those things are probably like cops and soldiers.
Yeah.
That's about it. I can't think of any other profession where wearing those things. Maybe a scientist, but they have lights. It's a fucking laboratory. They don't need to see. They don't need to see in the dark. So I literally think if you're not a cop or a soldier, you should not own a pair of night vision goggles. And anyone could be in a position where they could see in the dark if they bought the pill. So
Are perverts allowed to buy night vision goggles?
nope.
Oh.
Yeah. So Andy, I'm sorry you've been you're on the do not purchase list.
They have background checks for that now.
Yeah, exactly.
They know who you are.
All right, third and final idea. Wags.
Okay, hey Sharks, are you sick and tired of your pets never fucking listening to you?
Yes.
Oh, well, I have the solution. Introducing the Listen pill. This is a pill that is specifically formulated to make your dog, cat, hamster, goldfish, whatever the fuck your pet is, more suggestible and less defiant. Using only the finest ingredients as well as some of the CIA's top brainwashing secrets, we have what it takes to make your pet truly man's best friend.
You'll put the dog obedience school industry out of business with that one. I love it.
100% trying to teach dogs to use, bathrooms at home, trying to use cats to use bathrooms at home, flush, you no longer have to deal with that shit. So, I mean, that's kind of the plan with that.
Yeah, I love it.
Now-
basically create a Brian Griffin.
I like it, but can we use this on humans?
Yes, but
That's very dangerous.
I wouldn't recommend. It hasn't been tested in humans. It has been tested, like I said, in rats, small animals.
I was going to say all those horrible parents' ears just perked up. Wait, I don't have to do any work?
Here you go. Take these pills.
Yep.
Shake them.
Take them, Johnny, you bitch.
Shit in that toilet, Johnny.
Yeah.
All right, journalist Jake, your final proposal.
I want to come to you, Sharks, today. I know everybody, especially you all, don't like paying your
Y'all?
taxes.
How do you know that?
It's fine.
Are you identifying me as a tax evader?
Yep.
I don't appreciate
that.
that.
But Americans spend billions of hours every year paying their taxes. I'm going to introduce you to the pill, the IRS
Immunity?
IRS Immunipine.
Oh.
When you take this pill, you don't have to pay your taxes. You just don't have to. You're immune from being tracked by the IRS. You keep every single penny you earn, rightfully so in your paycheck.
You're telling me all 80,000 of those agents
Yep.
they just brought on are going to have no idea you've ever existed?
Yep. Then they're not going to touch you. They're just going to leave your money. They're going to let you keep your money you earn.
I mean, that sounds fantastic,
Yep.
but I mean,
you take it.
Well, what do these pills retail at? Like, does it cost me more than my taxes?
No. We are finding ways to create better price efficiency. With the help of you Sharks, we are hoping to invest resources into bringing prices down.
Okay.
What essentially it does when the what the pill does is the IRS agent views you as a rock or just an object that's not human.
Or a dependent.
A dependent. They view you as a 2-year-old child that
That doesn't pay taxes.
That doesn't pay taxes. That's what it is.
So how funny would it be if the government released these pills and they purposely looked up how much you pay in taxes and charged you up 10%?
Every time for a prescription.
It was flex pricing.
Yep, it was flex pricing, and no, we're not going to make sure that happens. This is not comes from. I do not work for the government.
Oh, so this is a private company. It's not government funded.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're making sure that there's no government involvement. This is IRS Immunipine, and we're here to help.
Okay.
Sharks,
We're here to help.
let's not pay taxes.
Hey, you know what? That would be the number one thing ever on the actual Shark Tank.
Those rich bastards would love
all
it.
five of those
if you
guys?
asked them if they didn't want to pay taxes.
Can I have a sample?
They're like, well, I already am not paying taxes, but I'm curious if you can find me a cheaper way to do it.
Yeah.
You
If I
know,
can pay like 0%.
Mr. Wonderful would have be pitching a tent sitting
Oh
in
yeah.
that chair.
You'd have offered something right away,
Yeah.
right off the bat.
All right, my final one is pretty simple, but I think out of all the ideas that we've come up with, I think this one is morally the best one. I'm not going to lie. The injury prevention pill. Give it to old people. Give it to fragile people. Give it to disabled people who, cannot afford to be injured. Give them to athletes before the season so we can actually experience in sports in its truest form. Everyone's healthy. The injury excuse goes away. So actually us as Wild fans might be screwed on that one. But the injury prevention pill would prevent anyone from ever getting injured ever again.
Well, you can just take one and you're good the rest of your life, or like you want to take them before events.
Take it for daily use.
Okay.
Daily use.
Daily
Okay.
use. Okay.
And don't take it if your nitrates cause chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Whatever that line is.
okay, yeah.
Throw all that in there. This is actually funny, though, because I was watching ESPN today, and I saw a commercial for like a dog pill that you give them to like prevent fleas. And on the screen, it says side effects have been reported. And that's all it says.
Well, yeah, of course, but for dogs, it's like, we don't need to list them because dogs don't care.
It is just so funny that I'm like,
funny.
this pill could have killed a dog, and like they're just advertising it.
Not
It's a
even
side effect
listed.
reported. That's
So-
just
Yeah, I'll throw that same umbrella statement for the injury prevention pill. This may cause disease, but sometimes that beats injury depending on the severity of your injury. So,
What does it just like temporarily, or I guess for like 12 hours, does it just make your bones and tendons and body just like harder, more flexible?
yeah, like it's if you were Kirk Cousins who drinks a ton of milk,
Okay.
Yeah.
allegedly.
So essentially, you'll get the body
Strong
of Kirk
bones.
Cousins. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Kirk never gets hurt.
no, he doesn't.
never.
And he wears that big ass chest protector. Basically, you have that thing wrapped around you like an anaconda 24/7.
There we go. And again, your ideas help the military-industrial complex.
True, we'd
Yes.
win wars. No
Yes.
one would die.
The military. So this prevents death too.
Not that.
It doesn't prevent it, but it will prevent any unnecessary injuries that could potentially lead to your death.
Oh,
Right. So Jake, if you walked over to that door, well, actually, this I'm starting to see some of the downsides of this. You could kick that door as hard as you could, and you'd feel fine.
Yeah.
and
This-
not break anything.
I think everyone would actually just start run out and destroy stuff.
Could you imagine the UFC?
Yeah, I'm turning.
It would basically be the UFC would basically be until someone is so hungry that they can no longer sit in the ring and they pass out.
It would be like the old Roman days where people are getting killed left
Yeah.
and right, dude.
Yeah, it'd be nuts. So, if you like any of those business ideas, throw us some money and we'll spend it on sports betting and liquor. But,
Yeah, we have a Venmo. Just try to find us.
Yeah, we are sharks.
Yep. But thanks, folks, so much for listening to another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. Remember that you can find everything we do at 10ktakesmn.com. You can read all of our awesome blogs. Make sure to listen to all of our other podcasts. Specifically, follow our Wild Takes account as they get ready to gear up for the NHL playoffs. And hopefully we'll be at some of those games too. And also make sure to go to our shop, 10ktakesmn.com/shop. We're redoing a lot of stuff there. We're going to be releasing some awesome shit in the coming weeks. So just make sure to check out everything we do. Follow us on all the socials, 10K Takes. Thanks, folks, so much for supporting us and listening to another episode of It's a Bit. We'll see you next week.